guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Hi guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes, and today is Saturday, October 13th, and it's 10:31 p.m. Eastern Time. So, we are faced with another Q-free day, and since Q has, I guess, placed us on an involuntary Q fast, we will have to, console ourselves with Q-related news, of which there is plenty. So let's get started with that. This video, I'm going to try to keep it to a reasonable level, reasonable length rather, but I do have some things that I think that you will be interested in finding out. So the first thing I want to show you is here, and I want to show you this video. It's old. Now, this video was recorded just as Obama was entering his second term in office, and it's a video of Maxine Waters explaining Obama's secret database. And I have, through Twitter, brought this to the attention of President Trump and Q, hoping that if they have not seen this, that they will see it. Anyway, let's take a look. Now, this was uploaded in 2017, but it's obviously, much older than that.
Made clear to our viewers and listeners is that, look, this is the inauguration represented the beginning of his second term.
Yes.
But it also represented the countdown of the end of his presidency.
That's right.
And the reality is, like anything else, you better get what you can while he's there, because look, come 2016, that's it.
Well, I don't know, and I think some people are missing something here. The president has put in place an organization.
Now, he said, come 2016, that's it. And Maxine Waters says, oh, I don't know. And goes on to describe that he has put together an organization that contains a database, the likes of which no one has ever seen. So let's listen.
That contains the kind of database that no one has ever seen before in life. That's going to be,
I'm just going to back
that
this
no
up a
one
bit.
contains the kind of, an organization that contains the kind of database that no one has ever seen before in life. That's going to be very, very powerful, and whoever...
In terms of the Organizing for America that he's now shifting to become a 501c4.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. And that database will have information about everything on every individual in ways that it's never been done before, and whoever runs for president on the Democratic ticket have to deal with that. They're going to have to go down with that database and the concerns of those people because they can't get around it. And he's been very smart. I mean, it's very powerful what he's leaving in place, and I think that's what...
Now, if you guys remember, and if you've been listening to Q for, it's coming up on a year, he explained that when Trump first took office, that there had been something put in place by the outgoing administration, which would be, of course, the Obama administration. There would have been something powerful put in place that to ensure basically his continued power. Even though Trump was in office, Obama had put something in place that would ensure that the Democrats remained in power. Now, I remember that very clearly, and I remember him describing that that was one of the reasons why the White House had undergone such extensive renovations. And if you notice, they did not hire the people that usually are hired for such things as renovations or anything to do with the White House. They would have had a list of contractors that they used, but Trump, being the wise man that he is, didn't use any of those. In fact, I remember that he used private businesses and businesses. I remember one business was by a Aboriginal woman, Native American, and I was so impressed with that. But he did this for a reason, because a lot of these large corporations that had been doing business with the government ongoing had people implanted within their leadership or what have you. And, Trump wanted to be absolutely positively sure that whoever was doing this would do it the right way and get everything out, all the listening devices, everything that was put in place there. So this is very interesting to listen to. She calls herself Auntie Maxine. It's interesting to listen to Auntie Maxine talk about this powerful system that he has put in place that contains this database, the likes of which no one has ever seen before. So just fascinating. I don't know if you've seen this before, but this to me is pure gold.
Any Democratic candidate is going to have to deal with.
And I think, they put this in place thinking that, Hillary would be walking in and they would be granted, extended power through her because they're all in, cahoots together, for lack of a better word. And so, imagine their shock when Trump took over. I can just imagine their faces, and I would have loved it because I just watched, and I'd play it for you, except it's far too long. It's a compilation of all these people saying, Trump will never be president, okay? And just one right after another saying, yeah, Trump has a better chance of being president than, just ridiculous things. And then at the end of it, you see, them saying, well, Texas is been, Trump has won Texas, and going through all the states that are red, and then finally announcing him as president. And my gosh, I would have loved to see the face of Obama and Hillary and some of these deep state operatives. Oh my gosh, it would be priceless. But alas, we will never see that. But let's go back. Now, I am going to touch on this, but it's very long and it's a little convoluted, but it's about Clinton's researchers. And, we've all heard now that Clinton has had her security clearance revoked. Well, come to find out, that happened quite a while ago, because look at here. At her request, former Secretary Clinton's security clearance was administratively withdrawn on August 30th, 2018. On September 20th, security clearance was administratively withdrawn for Cheryl Mills, redacted, 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 and redacted. As we previously informed the committee, these individuals had been granted access to classified information through a request made by Secretary Clinton designating them as researchers per Executive Order 13526, Section 4.4A2, which they didn't qualify for. But anyway, so it seems that their security clearance has been withdrawn for a while now. I mean, not a long time, but not certainly recent. And why would she have voluntarily given up that security clearance? Now, I know it came in the news that it was withdrawn, but or maybe it said that she had voluntarily withdrawn. And there's a reason for that, because she is planning on running for president in 2020. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous to me as well, because she doesn't get it. She does not get it. I mean, the woman is not well. She is not well. I'm not talking about mentally, although there's some reason to be concerned about that as well. But the woman's not well. I mean, it's not that she doesn't stand for anything. She just can't stand. I mean, she can't stand up. And she's having seizure problems and all sorts of issues. Excuse me for a moment. As soon as I start to talk, I cough. I don't know. All right. Now, so, and here this person is rightfully saying Clinton's motives, forget Clinton's motives for a moment. We all know her request was a proactive measure due to the likelihood her clearance was going to be forcibly revoked. Requesting the removal avoids multiple political and logistical issues of her security being damaged by a forced revocation. The request is transparent in motive. And he's saying, so let's get beyond the surface. Well, this article goes a lot in depth and it's very, very long. And I'm not going to take time to do that here. But I did want you to know this, that this was not so voluntary. Yeah. So anyway, and that's why. That's why. She's giving it up because she knows that she wants to run for president. She can't have that on her record that her security clearance was forcibly revoked. So, anyway, now let's go on here because we have other things to get to. And this I found today when I was perusing the news and thought you might be interested. It's upsetting, as any such things like this are. Child sex dolls make their way back onto Amazon's offer list. Critics call for their immediate removal. Yeah, the Seattle-based online retail platform temporarily ditched controversial sales several months ago in the wake of a similar backlash, but vendors appear to have restored their childlike, flesh-pleasing 18-plus toys on their offer list. Now, if this is supposed to be a replica of an 18-plus-year-old, well, then I think that somebody needs their eyes checked. And interestingly enough, I mean, look, this is a very beautiful child, but she's dressed in sexy lingerie. And of course, they want her to appear as innocent as possible before they defile her. So they've put a cross around her neck. Pretty disgusting. I mean, really, honestly, I don't know. Between two consenting adults, they can do what they wish. It's nobody's business, really. They have to answer to themselves, their spouses, whatever, their God, whatever. That's one thing. But when you're talking about the degradation and rape of a child, and I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, this isn't a child, it's a doll. Well, what do you think? If that's what, now, okay, at the very least, they're using a doll instead of finding a child. But my guess is that if they could find a suitable child, they wouldn't be using a doll. So, the argument can go several ways. But anyway, campaigners have lashed out at the retail giant Amazon for selling in its adult section sex dolls that they say look strikingly like youngsters. Yes. The dolls are not advertised as silicone kids, but they reportedly have the looks of young girls, thereby sparking concerns that their adult users may go on to abuse children next. It's outrageous Amazon is selling these appalling sex dolls that appear to look like children, clearly aimed at those who fantasize about sexually abusing children. Bernardo's chief executive, Javed Khan, told The Sun Online, going on afterwards to call for the retailer to scrap the dubious sales. Now, I would agree, Amazon is a massive retailer. They don't need, this money. They don't. And it's appalling. It's not okay, he stressed, bringing in those who tend to get arrested and charged for having images of children being horribly abused. He stressed that those offenders often have these dolls. Khan addressed the government, urging it to criminalize the creation, sale, distribution, and possession of such lifelike adult toys. A spokesman for Survivors Matter, a group of survivors of childhood sexual abuse, echoed that call, demanding that Amazon remove the items from offer without delay. There is a risk that people using these dolls could become desensitized and go on to harm children, as is so often the case with those who view indecent images of children online. Almudita Lara, a senior staffer at National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, chimed in, adding that they have no hard evidence that using the doll stops potential abusers from committing a crime. The latter argument has been widely publicized on the internet, including social networks in recent times. Now, the way I look at it is, well, they have proven that viewing the images does promote a person to go on and abuse children. So, really, is this that much different? I just don't think so. I mean, how long until a doll is just not enough? Because from everything that I have read about the effects of pornography, the more you get into it, the more it requires. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's just never wild enough. You want more. You want something wilder. You want something, whatever. And it's the same thing with this. It's like, how long until that person will not be satisfied with copulating with a doll or pretending they're raping a doll, whatever they do. I'm just saying. So, chime in below under the in the comments below and let me know what you think. I am always interested in your opinion, even if it differs from mine. I will not censor someone for an opinion that's different to mine unless there is a multitude of swear words and abuse. Then the comment will go, but that is extremely rare. So let's go back and see what else. And I like this. I'm telling you, I like it because these people that fired Roseanne are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, because people say, people on the left are saying things 1,000 times worse every day. And honestly, I don't think Roseanne realized that Valerie Jarrett was black, because I certainly didn't. She's Iranian. I didn't know that she had any African American blood. I was shocked. I was just as shocked as anyone else. So I think that they overreacted. And now, of course, because it's hitting their pocketbook, well, now they're regretting firing Roseanne. Well, I think that maybe they should have thought about that in the first place. And I think personally that ABC is too good for Roseanne. Really. I think that if legally another network could pick it up, that's what they should do. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't know about the legalities or what's been signed or contracts or anything like that. I'm just saying that if it was legally possible, that would be a good, workaround, because if I was Roseanne, I wouldn't want to go back to ABC. I would be absolutely insulted if they asked me back. That's just me. Now, maybe she'll feel otherwise, and I don't blame her if she does. I'm just saying that, it's ridiculous now that they're looking at their pocketbook thinking, we didn't think it through properly. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But they thought the show could go on without her, because they didn't realize that the only reason people were watching in the first place was to see Roseanne. Hence the name of the program, Roseanne. It's retarded to think you can have a program that's named after someone without that someone being in it. Like, I don't know. Do they need to hire people to do their thinking for them? Really? I think they do. ABC executives regret their knee-jerk decision to fire Roseanne Barr and now believe that the network's spin-off series, The Connors, will fail under the weight of its own publicly correct hubris, reports the Daily Mail, citing two anonymous execs. We didn't think it through properly. What Roseanne did was wrong, but we shouldn't have rushed to fire her. It was almost a knee-jerk reaction by Ben Sherwood and Channing Dungey, who should have launched an investigation, said one insider, who added this would have given them more time to listen to the public, advertisers, and cast members to determine the best decision. Now, this is ridiculous. And let me just point this out. Oh, we should have launched an investigation. What investigation's needed? She said it. She admitted to saying it. What kind of investigation do you need? Oh, then he tells us what kind of investigation. Oh, well, we should have had more time to listen to the public and, advertisers and cast members to determine the best decision. You know what he's saying? I'll tell you what he's saying. He's saying, well, yeah, we should have maybe, instead of firing her, which is what we really wanted to do and what we did, we should have maybe waited and see how this was going to affect our bottom line. And if people would actually even watch the show if Roseanne wasn't there, because everyone would have told them no. The advertisers would have said, no, like, we don't really want to back a losing horse. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll take our advertising dollars elsewhere. Yeah. The Roseanne reboot, which quickly became ABC's #1 top-rated series in April, was quickly derailed after the network suddenly fired star Roseanne Barr after she compared former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett to "If the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby" comments, which were condemned by Dungy as abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values. And what values are they? You have no values except going after the almighty dollar. And that's fine if those are your values, but don't try to pull the wool over our eyes and make it seem like you're some sort of saint. For heaven's sakes. Barr, 65, was fired before a single advertiser pulled out just 3 months into the show's return. Yeah, none of the advertisers had pulled out. They knew. It's about money. They have to make money, and that's why they flock to the shows that are doing the best. You know, if you have a product that you're trying to sell, you're going to advertise it on shows that, you know, are doing well, that have the, you know, the viewership or have the demographics that you are aiming your product towards. I mean, this is so ridiculous. And none of them had pulled out, but, oh, they had to fire her. And I have heard, whether this is true, I'm not going to go on record as saying this is true because I have not completely checked it out. But I have heard that it was Mishel Obama, Michael, that called these executives and demanded she be fired. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm going to check it out, but that's what I've heard from more than one source, and they were good sources. So, and anyway, she said below, "I apologize to Valerie Jarrett and to all Americans. I'm truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me. My joke was in bad taste." But that's the thing. She is a comedian. And yeah, comedians say things that maybe aren't, you know, I mean, really, how have you ever seen a comedian not insult somebody? Really? Like, come on. And here, many conservatives at the time pointed out that while Roseanne was fired, MSNBC host Joy Reid was allowed to keep her job despite making anti-gay, anti-Muslim blog posts several years ago over a sustained period and then lying about it. The vastly different treatment of the two TV personalities has once again raised questions over the treatment of conservatives in Hollywood. And you know what? I don't have to get into all that because we are more than aware of that. More than aware of that. So I'm just wondering what this is. In the end, the ratings are all that matter, and there are many people at Disney and ABC who are worried that firing Roseanne will see their Tuesday night ratings drop substantially. Well, duh. And should the Connors flop, Channing and her team will have many questions to answer. Oh, and well, they should. Well, they should. The whisper across ABC is that they will not even be a quarter of what Roseanne achieved last season. An ABC spokesperson told the Mail denied that the network is concerned about the success of the Connors. Oh, I don't believe that for a minute. They have to be concerned. This is big money. It's big money. And they're there to earn money, as are all businesses. They're there to earn money. They're not trying to make friends and win friends and influence people. They're there to make money. To hear more about her firing, supporting Trump, and much, much more, check out Roseanne's Thursday appearance on the Joe Rogan Show. Now, I'm not going to take time to play that, but it is on Zero Hedge if you do wish to view it. Now, I never liked Roseanne. I never did. But I will tell you one thing. I have a heck of a lot of respect for her now because she's a strong woman. She's very articulate and she's very intelligent. And I don't care what anyone has to say. I always looked at her as if she didn't have a brain in her head. And I was wrong. That woman is a very intelligent, very articulate, and she stands up for what she believes. And I have to respect that. So I may not agree with everything she agrees with, but I respect her regardless. Now, let's go back and go down here. This is from Terrence K. Williams from his Twitter account, who I think is funny. No, that's wrong. I'm thinking of someone else. I'm sorry. He's not funny at all. Kanye can't, maybe this is the Terrence Williams I'm thinking about. No, it is, I think. Is that the comedian Terrence Williams? Anyway, I don't want to disparage him unnecessarily because I do like Terrence Williams if it's who I'm thinking of. Anyway, I can't keep everybody straight. Kanye can't sit with a white president, but you can sit on a white, well, he's saying white dick, hypocrites. Because Don Lemon, of course, was, making disparaging remarks, very, very, very disparaging remarks against Kanye because of his support of Trump, and yet he, I guess, is married to a white man. So, a little hypocritical, don't you think? Now, this is what he said. Don Lemon, you sleep with a white man every night, but had the nerves to tell Kanye to stop acting like he needed white folks in his life. So he can't support a white man, but it's okay for you to be married to one? Boy, bye. Yeah, that's hypocrisy at its finest. I mean, Kanye, can't support Trump because he's white, and now they're calling Kanye a white racist, which I'm not sure how that works. But anyway, and here Don Lemon is married to a white man, so a little hypocritical, just a little. All right, and here is something from Grizz. Gotta like that name. If I heard stories from others who thought they were in NAM, it's not okay. Yes, now I remember what this is about. We're leaving Kanye for a little bit. We're going to come back to him, but this is about Richard Blumenthal. This is a quote by Richard Blumenthal. Now, if this doesn't make your head explode, I don't know what will. If I heard stories from others who thought they were in NAM, it's not lying or stolen valor if I somehow assert myself in their shoes and can feel their experiences. Ask any mental health professional. Yeah, I'm not sure that any mental health professional would agree with that. There's a name for what you're doing. It's called lying. Yeah, it's a really big word, but maybe if you break it down, you'll be able to understand it. Right. If I heard stories from others who thought they were in NAM, it's not lying or stolen valor if I somehow assert myself in their shoes and can feel their experiences. Ask any mental health professional. They'll all tell you. Yeah. All right. And here's the next thing. And Bette Midler, we all know who Bette Midler is, of course. And here she said, when you go to vote, just a reminder that our president still has never released his tax returns. And America is Back wrote, when I go vote, I will remember I have more money in my pocket, my son has a job, ISIS is destroyed, and we have 2 new conservative justices. Yes, without a doubt, I will be remembering all these things when I vote Republican up and down the ticket. You gotta love that. And this from Noah Ring. Melania Trump just said she believes she is one of the most bullied persons in the world. After saying this, the left is bullying her even more. They just proved her point. Am I right? Well, yes, Noah Ring, you are right. You are completely right. And it is horrendous. I don't think any first lady has gone through what our first lady has. This first lady has, and she is first lady. I just want to reiterate that because I would have thought that was a prerequisite for being first lady. You know, actually being a lady. But apparently it's not. But she's doing a wonderful job of being a lady, and she is representing the country with class and style and dignity. The woman is constantly put down because of her accent. English is not her first language, and yet she speaks it beautifully and fluently, along with 4 other languages, which probably none of her detractors can do. She is very intelligent, and she had her own money before she married Trump. She presents herself and carries herself with such dignity and class and honor, and I think I feel blessed to have a woman of her stature in that office, and I think she's doing a wonderful job. So that's my 2 cents. Well, it's probably more like 1.50 cents with inflation. All right, let's go on. And this by Ella Cruz, Stop CPS Child Kidnappers. This way, now she's talking about Clinton having her security revoked. And it says this way, if she runs for president and wins, there is not a security violation on her record of it being revoked as a security threat. It's a weasel move and also is telling about her future presidential aspirations. She pulled it herself so they couldn't revoke it permanently. Yes, indeed, that's exactly what happened, Ella Cruz. And this meme, had to share it with you. I'm not out of control. I'm just not in their control. And of course, Kanye West. And I think that's absolutely speaks the truth, encapsulates everything perfectly. It's not that he's out of control. He's not out of control at all. He's just not in their control. Yeah, that's what they're mad about. That's exactly what they're mad about. Now, for the last thing this evening, I want to take you out and show you this. Okay, and I want to, it says the oh crap. Hang on, let me get this back. Okay, now, let me shut this down for a second. It says the MSM destruction of Kanye West continues. These talking heads are racist and afraid West will get blacks to vote Republican. That's exactly what they're afraid of. That's exactly right. So let's take a listen here.
This is time for us to say, Kanye, we as African American people cannot stand idly by while you give cover to a man who is proved to be a white supremacist. This is white supremacy by ventriloquism. A black mouth is moving, but white racist ideals are flowing from Kanye West's mouth.
Yeah. Not sure how he's managing to be a white supremacist. Somebody needed to call him on that, but of course they didn't. But anyway, that is it for tonight. I am going to be back tomorrow, either with Q or with Q-related news. So I would ask that you would tune in then, and I hope that tonight you have a good night, that you rest well, that you stay safe and stay well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.